What is going on, guys? So today I have finally painted the engine bay. Now it kind of makes the rest of the car look worse now because this paint is so new and the rest is so old. You can see that this fender in particular has just been taking a beating as far as paint goes. The clear coat's fading off and it's seen better days, but I'll get that done at some point here in the future. But I figured while the engine was out, I would get the engine bay painted. I've got a whole bunch of things that I've got black sprayed on. I did a black wrinkle coat on here, and some of the other parts that I've got too. These guys here I painted black, got a wrinkle coat. Got a few other things too, the intake pipe. Then a couple of other items over here. I just did this is a cap on top of my radiator, and then I did the end tanks on it as well. And then that was my coolant crossover tube. I just painted it, and also my wiper motor. I didn't get super detailed, but I wanted it to look a little bit nicer. I feel like the red and the black contrast a lot better than some of the other parts. So, all right, updates. Let's see. So the engine is closer. Wait on some of the machine work to be done. Then as soon as I get it back, I'm going to put it back in the car, obviously. There's a few other odds and ends we're waiting on, but I'll be back soon. The one thing that I wanted to show you guys that I found was on my distributor. Come check this out. So we'll have to move a couple of things out of the way. But I noticed when I was taking my distributor out, I was kind of going over some of these items, as making sure everything was in good shape. I was not extremely happy about this. So check this out. This is my distributor. It's a standard 351 distributor. It's all fine and dandy. But the thing that's crazy on it, see if I can get some better light for you. I don't know if you can tell or not, but those teeth are pretty chewed up. So this is a brass distributor gear, and I guess I didn't even pay attention when I put it in, but it shouldn't be brass. For my cam, they wanted a cast iron gear. So this one you can see if you look at kind of an end profile. You can see the teeth are just getting eaten off. Not good. So I need to change that gear out. A really good thing that I found this before it was worse. I mean, it could be really bad. If this gear, let's say that it would have stripped a tooth, I would have had chunks in the engine. It could have been really bad because this is what fires the cylinders, so it could have, it could have caused all kinds of problems. But it's probably why my timing wasn't as dead on as it should have been. So I'm going to have to double check that too. I'll have to check it with a timing light and make sure that the timing matches with what the ECU is commanding. This definitely could cause issues, lots of them. So like I said, I'm really glad I found this, but we're going to change this little gear out. And if you've never changed one of these, there's a little pin on this gear, and this pin is what holds it onto the shaft. Now sometimes there'll be it'll pass all the way through, so you can just hit it with a punch and knock it all the way out. This one is probably going to be more of a pain in the butt, so I'll have to grab onto it with some pliers and twist it out of there. Easy. There's the gear I should have been using. You can see that one passes all the way through. And once you have enough of it to bite onto, I'm going to use the cutter end of this. Just going to lightly pinch on it, not very hard. Then you use leverage and pull it out. Just like that. Alright, so this is where if you do not have a press, a 3-jaw puller is going to be your best friend. I do have a press, but I'm going to use this just to show you guys it can be done with alternate methods. These gears are not on here super tight. If it was something else, I would be a little bit more worried about doing it this way, but it's just a distributor gear and ain't a big deal. I switched to a smaller puller. This one was a little on the large side, so I have a smaller one set up here. You can see I've got tape around it just to keep the jaws on it, and I've got a socket on the end of the distributor so that I don't ruin it. And then all I'm going to do is crank down on it and it'll pull that right off. There we go. I want you guys to see this old distributor gear in reference to the old one. Alright, so after getting that gear off, can you see a little bit better? You see how it's missing a little bit on the teeth? That's how it should look. Instead of like this. Yeah, so make sure that you've got the right distributor gear for the cam that you're running. My car was a non-roller, so this was a standard gear that comes on the distributor, but I converted it to a roller cam and kind of have the right gear for it. So, yep. Should have checked that before, but it's all good. We found it now, and that's what matters. And like I said before, you can see that this one's got a hole punched straight through it. So what we'll do with this one is put it in the press. We'll press this gear on, and then I'll drive that pin through and make sure that it's where it needs to be. The one thing that they tell you not to do is hammer on this because you can ruin the bearings in the distributor, so just be cautious on that. We're going to go over to my press and I'm going to show you. This is a bearing separator, but I usually use this just for holding jobs. My press doesn't really have any, we'll call them dies or much tooling to use. So I'll use this bearing separator here to support the shaft of the distributor. We'll get it on there right about like that. And then what I'll do is just push that distributor gear on. So let's get to it. So you can see that setting this up in my press is a little challenging because it's just got this piece right here. So the distributor's got to go up through the bottom of it, and then I use this bearing separator to hold on to the shaft of the distributor so that it doesn't go anywhere while I'm doing this. So that's what's going on here. And then what I will do is I will find a deep socket that is fairly snug on the shaft, just to try to keep it centered. There we go, see that? So that one's probably a little too snug, but that one will fit good. Then we'll put our distributor gear on, so you want to line up the hole with this, and you want to make sure you lube it up a little bit. A little bit of WD-40. Something, anything. Just don't do it dry. Here we go. So we'll line it up right like that. Then we'll start giving the jack some pumps and get it going. So I've got the pin. And I just realized I put it on upside down. That really sucks. Alright, so now I gotta take it out, I gotta pull the gear off and do it again. Back in the press. Alright. Now we can put that pin in. The other method you can use is pliers. If you've got a strong enough grip. If you got monkey grip like me, you can use small pliers and even make it work. There we go. The pin is in. And that is it. Right. So the distributor is fixed. We now have the correct gear on there, so we won't have that issue again. Man, that could have been so bad. This is all a blessing in disguise, because if I wouldn't have taken everything apart, it would have ran until those teeth were chewed off that gear, and then it would have been really bad. So it's always a silver lining to everything. So the other thing is I got my safety switch on the fuel pressure side hooked up. So this is a nitrous outlet adjustable fuel pressure safety switch for nitrous. So what it does here is it goes in line with the solenoid, and you can adjust it with this screw here. So it is adjustable from 20 psi to 120 psi, and I need to make sure that I've got at least 65 to 70 psi anytime I'm spraying nitrous. So I'll be able to dial that in and make sure it's accurate. The other thing is the wiring. It's pretty simple. So it's got two wires, and like I said, it's just in line with the nitrous solenoid. So it's on the power side here. It just goes in line with it. So what happens is if this doesn't see 60 psi, it won't make contact inside of it, so the nitrous solenoid can't activate. So this basically will open up if the fuel pressure drops too low, or if it is ever too low. So that'll be really nice to have. That will keep me from having the same thing happen again. I should have put this in the first place. I know, but it's done now. So let me know what you guys think of the paint. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to have a lot more stuff kind of painted red, black. We'll see how it looks. I'm really looking forward to getting it back together and getting things going again. So if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments below. If you guys would like to follow me on Instagram, I will put my username in the description, but I'll also put a link on the screen, or not a link, but I'll put it on the screen here. If you guys would like to follow me there, I would appreciate it. I thank you guys for taking your time to watch this video today. I will keep you guys updated as things move forward, so we will see you on the next video. Have a good one.